Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. I am Jamie, and this is the best magicians you have never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Jamie, and today's guest has been doing magic for over 60 years, from stage to close-up and everything else in between. He's recently taken over the reins at SME, which is Surplus Magic Exchange. So he's the new guy behind the scenes. I want everybody to welcome Eric Dany. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we have Eric. Eric, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks for being on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got in magic?
Jamie, I'm an old guy. I've been kicking around magic for a long time. I got interested in magic when my next door neighbor's older brother put on a show for us. And I was probably 10 or 11 at the time and caught the magic bug and kept with it all through high school, a little bit in college, and I've been doing it ever since. It's been a wonderful, lifelong hobby.
And what kind of magic did you start out with?
Well, I started out with a little bit of everything. We were doing small parlor shows, and I actually added a couple of illusions and a sub-trunk when I was back in high school, and put on a full evening magic show at the local town hall. That was kind of a fun event. Had 2 or 3 kids helping me and a couple of gals, so it was a fun show.
Sure it was. It sounds like you had your own big production going on. So when it comes to magic, some people like cards, some people like coins, some people like close-up, some people like stage. From what I saw, you were all over the place. You did a little bit of everything.
Oh, absolutely. I've dabbled with everything. Some of it seems to stick more than others, and I have to say that whatever type of magic I'm performing, I really enjoy comedy, in that you get some audience laughter, and they're enjoying themselves, and I certainly enjoy getting that feedback and entertaining the folks.
That's great. A lot of people love comedy for that reason, and it helps make magic not so serious all the time. So I'm curious because you're older than anybody I've interviewed, and you've been doing magic for 60 years. You said you were into a little bit of everything. I'm just curious about how is your sleight of hand these days compared to, say, 25 years ago? Well,
I probably know the same 5 or 6 moves today that I did back then. I may have added 1 or 2. I would say the biggest difference in my capability is your hands, as you get older, tend to dry out. So it's a little harder sometimes to hold some stuff and palm it. But you know, if I know that I'm going to be doing it, there's some things you can put on your hands that sure does help.
There certainly is. There certainly is. So when I talked to you earlier, you told me that you prefer storytelling, and you know, as opposed to knuckle busting kind of things. Because of why? Why is it that you prefer storytelling?
Well, I think people like to be entertained rather than fooled, and I think the entertainment value comes from telling a good story, something that sets the magic a little bit to the background. You know, you're still going to fool them and astonish them, but my goal is to entertain them rather than to fool them. So if you have a good patter, good story, it sure does help draw them in and get the type of audience reactions that I'm looking for.
Right, right. So I saw that you've done some writing early in your career. Would you say that doing that and contributing to that helped you in your storytelling?
Well, I think English language is important, and being able to write certainly doesn't hurt. When I was back in high school, I had the opportunity to be the editor of Pips magazine, which was the monthly publication of Magical Youths International. And that was kind of fun putting that thing together.
I'm sure. Have you ever competed before?
Well, actually, as a teen, I competed several times. I went to the Magi Fest in Columbus, Ohio, and that's an old convention, so I'm going back a ways. But when I was a teenager, I got first place down there, about 1964. And I was on Abbott's stage in 1964. I placed fourth, which I thought was pretty amazing. They had some pretty good talent back then.
You remember what you performed?
Well, it was a short set, and I can tell you a few of the things that were on it. I had a kind of a mid-sized little illusion, and we produced an astronaut in a puff of smoke at the end. So,
wow, especially back then, that would have been a big deal. The astronaut part, yeah, that's great. So, something that really interests me about you is that you actually own a brick and mortar magic store. Now, I understand that you're getting out of that and moving on to something else, but I have to imagine having your own magic store. I mean, I always wanted when I was younger. I wish I had it, where people would come in and they want to see stuff and you could demonstrate for them. All the other magicians would come in. Tell me what it was like. Tell me about the brick and mortar.
Well, our shop was called the Fun Company, and the reason we called it the Fun Company is because we wanted everybody that came in to have fun. And besides magic, we also carried costumes for costume rental and tuxedos. So the costumes and tuxedos allowed me to have the magic shop, because there's no question about it that brick and mortar shops are falling by the wayside. But the costumes kept us in business. And we had a number of magicians that would come in. The local magicians supported us, as well as visiting magicians. I met quite a few guys coming through town. They always want to come in and check out the local shop. And Saturday morning, I'd get the younger trade coming in with their dad, and their dad remembered the same royal tricks when he was a kid, and he wanted his son or daughter to pick up on some of that. So it was just always fun, entertaining. You're always demonstrating, so you're entertaining. And it's kind of funny, you do a 15 or 20 minute set with about 5 or 6 tricks, and you sell $10 worth of royal magic.
Yeah,
but you know what? It was always fun, and I always tell the kids, the magician promises not to tell his secrets, so that's a given. But I always told them to develop a story, come up with something new, so that when you show your trick, it's entertaining. It's not just fooling. So I tried to carry that message right through the business.
That's awesome. I think about that a lot. We had a costume store here where I'm from, and in the costume store, they sold some magic. They had like thumb tips and some scotch and sodas and things like that. And I miss it. And of course, it was the same thing with that place. They had a costume store that allowed them to afford to have some magic there because they had magic. And I missed that they closed, even though it wasn't great, but it was something.
Sure.
So I saw some pictures. You were in an article last week, I believe it was, about the shop closing, and I saw some pictures of just the sheer amount of costumes that you actually have. What are you planning to do with all of those?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a really nice front page spread that we got in the local newspaper, and they also put it on the internet, so that was kind of cool. I'm having a liquidation sale, and as a result primarily of that article and some Facebook ads, had quite a few people coming in, and just like around Christmas time, I had a lot of Santa Clauses, and those Santa Clauses would come and go during the season. Well, I'm specializing in a one-time rental on our costumes now, and as a matter of fact, the customers get to keep it, so they don't have to worry about bringing it back.
That's
so
awesome.
we're selling the costumes as best we can. I've got a couple costumers, guys that own shops are coming in next week. I'm hopeful that maybe one of them will write me a check and take everything. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I was shocked at how much stuff there was. There's some funny pictures of you there too. I made sure I got some of those so that I can show them here on the interview. I saw. What else did I see about your costumes? I saw in 2016 you sold out of Donald Trump and Hillary masks.
That was a high selling item, and I had quite a few, but we sold out.
That's so funny that they would sell out like that for Halloween, obviously, but that's funny that so many people wanted to be Trump or Hillary. The places are selling out of their masks.
Oh yeah.
So, what about magic? Your magic. Do you have something that you can demonstrate for us? Give us a little sample of your style.
I do. I picked out a little something that's one of the tricks that I demonstrated a lot in the store, and I particularly like it. I like the story that goes with the trick.
Okay, and does the trick have a name or?
Yeah, it's Doomsday Prophecy.
Doomsday Prophecy. All right, fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, the stage is yours. Let's see what you can do.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Eric, let's see what you got.
Okay, Jamie, here's something a little interesting you may not have seen before. In my wallet, I've got a card, and this is almost a collectible. I'll hold it up here so you can see it. It's from the Dunes Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, as you may or may not know, the Dunes was torn down, and there's a new casino in its place. So these things are kind of like collector's items. A $5 Dunes chip, a $25 Dunes chip, and a $100 Dunes chip. Okay. So what I'd like to ask you, Jamie, in a minute is to select one of these three. But before we do that, I don't want to influence your choice, but there are ways that I might influence your choice. For example, the 5 is on the right-hand side. That might be something, if you're right-handed, you might just automatically want to pick the one on the right. It's also the first one I put down. Its color is red, and that has a lot of meanings to people. Love, for one thing, for sure. So you might select the 5. The other one here is the 25. Now it's in the middle. That automatically would make some people want to choose it. The 25 is green. That's kind of ecology, good, clean living. Maybe you're an environmentalist. I don't know. You might be interested in choosing that one. The $100 chip is on the other end. $100, it's $100. You know, somebody might just go for the money. It's black, shows a little maybe power, different things. I kind of like the pink on it. I don't know about you. Well, I hope that I haven't influenced you in any way. But Jamie, go ahead and tell me which one of these 3 chips did you select?
Well, it's not the pink that's influencing me, but I select the black one.
You picked the black one. Isn't that amazing? because that is doesn't surprise me, Jamie, from you. You did pick the black one, and here the wallet embossed on the back. It says, "I knew you would pick the $100 chip." There you go, my friend.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So, what can you tell us about this trick? What don't tip the method.
Well, I don't want to tip the method because it is a commercial trick.
Right.
But it uses a very simple technique that a lot of magicians know about, and kind of like Penn and Teller. There's 3 ways home, guys.
Exactly. That was fantastic. I like that. And that trick is actually by Mir Yedid, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Right. I'll put a link up for that trick. I assume, do you still sell that trick? Do you still have that trick available?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, then I will put your information there to get a hold of if people want to get this trick.
I probably have a couple left over from the shop.
So this trick is a perfect example of what you said earlier about not wanting to do knuckle busters, but want to concentrate more on the story. So the story completely makes this trick, right? I mean, it's not a difficult thing to do at all, but the story makes it involving and entertaining. I felt myself watching closer and closer to see what you do. So what do you think? What do you think makes this such a good trick?
Well, I think it's entertaining in the value that there's poker chips that get people involved. It deals with money, and you have a little bit of the influence that you talk about, kind of a cold reading type of thing. When I'm doing it in front of people, I try to determine what they're going to pick beforehand, just based on their body language and the good cold reading.
Right.
Sometimes I get it right on.
That's awesome.
And the story is good. I shortened it up a little bit for your video here. But there's a lot to talk about with the Dunes. You know, it was the home of the Rat Pack,
right?
Which was Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr.
Okay, Eric, so what should others take from this?
Well, I think from the trick, it's you can tell the passion there for telling the story and dealing with the spectators, drawing them in, making them part of the action. I think that's what magic is all about.
No, I talked to you twice now, and I can absolutely see the passion in the magic, for the things that you do, and even some of the sacrifices you make in order to have magic in your life and to be part of it. That's great. I mean, for me, that's all I want to do. I want to continue to be a part of magic in one way or another. So what's next? What's next on the agenda for Mr. Eric Dany?
Well, I was worried about that. Of course, I'm retired and trying to find things to do to keep myself busy. I play a little golf, but not a lot. I'm going to be doing more with magic, that's for sure. And, when one door closes, sometimes another door opens. And I had the opportunity to take a look at the SME groups, which I have been a member of for many years, and I certainly like the groups. They're entertaining in themselves. There's a wealth of experience and knowledge, and if you have any questions or you want any tips or tricks on things, there's just a wonderful group of people willing to share with you. And then there's also the SME Surplus Magic Exchange, which I've used a number of times to get rid of some of my slightly used magic that that I seem to have accumulated over the years. So the opportunity came up to take over the administrative duties with the SME groups. And so I decided to take that on because for a number of reasons. One is it's a kind of a virtual thing, and I can take my phone with me or my iPad or my laptop, and anywhere I go, I can be have my business kind of with me, or at least my my current entertainment with me. So I was quite pleased to be able to take the reins of the SME groups. It's really exciting. We have 12,000 members in the SME Surplus Magic Exchange, and we have 6,000 members in the SME Talk. Between those two groups, there's at least 10,000 active members, and when I talk about being active, they have posted or responded to something within the last 60 days. Well, those are pretty active groups. And I've already made a number of friends as a result of being on those groups. Met you, Jamie. That's been wonderful. And I really admire Dennis. Did a very nice job of managing and developing the groups over the last 10 years. We don't have a lot of political, there is no political crapola, and very little commercial activity on there. So the groups have been well managed, and I hope to keep them that way.
I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, when we first heard that somebody else was going to be running things, I think the thought in most people's minds was, are they going to continue to push things forward and continue doing what they were already doing? And I met you, and like I said, such a passionate guy about the whole shebang, about everything that's going on in Magic, and I loved it. I could tell just by talking to you. Now, SME, the reason I love SME, my favorite part of SME is anybody that posts a question about something Magic, somebody has the answer. People post these obscure pictures of things that I'm not even sure sometimes what they are. And sure enough, there's going to be 3 or 4 people on there that know exactly what it is, where it came from, who made it, and they probably have one. So being able to go on there and see those kind of things that's my favorite thing. Because if I'm working on something and I need information, right, it's hard to remember, where did I learn that? Where do I know that from? What book, what this, what that? And then you throw it out there and there's 12,000 people willing to help you. Somebody's got the answer. So,
oh, absolutely correct. It's amazing.
Good on you for taking this over, because I couldn't think of a better person to do this. It makes me very happy. This show wouldn't exist without SME. I had the idea, but the guys at SME were the ones that kind of gave me a kick in the butt, and I got this moving. And so it's all due to them that I actually got this, and it's doing quite well. I was shocked to see the numbers that are coming out. I mean, they're not like going viral type of things, but it's not nothing. It's definitely not nothing now. So I'm so excited about it. So I'm glad that I get to keep working with you and with SME. That's fantastic.
Well, that's great, Jamie. We appreciate what you're doing for us, and we love your podcasts. These videos are great. And by the way, if anyone who's watching this is not a member of SME Talk or Surplus Magic Exchange, I certainly hope that you will consider joining those Facebook groups. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show, and absolutely the best of luck with SME. I just love talking to you. Your wealth of knowledge, and it's just great. So thanks for being on the show. Great luck with SME. I'm so excited for you. Couldn't have picked a better person. And I want to thank everybody for watching. If you got something out of this and you enjoyed the show, please hit like and subscribe, and see us next week. Sleightly Magic out.